Okay, James. Well, welcome.
Michael, thank you.
Yes, I am. I'm so glad to be talking to you because I wanted to actually ask you to help help me uh, to kind of explain and introduce something here to to the people and to the
Okay.
audience here, and I figured that you would be really the ideal one to kind of help me kind of present
Okay.
this. And um, what I wanted to do, like first of all, is uh, certainly thank you for being here, because I wanted to kind of begin to explain
Hmm.
to folks because I think that it's important. I want to explain how I get the vision and the inspiration for for teaching, for the
Oh my gosh,
teachings
you're
of
going
the
to tell them
workshop.
that?
Yes, yeah, exactly. We're going to spill the beans here and
Uh-oh.
tell all the secrets of how it's done. Okay. Um, the way that it works is that in my life, as I live it, and try to live it within some kind of spiritual alignment, which
Hmm.
allows me to be open, to be
Yes.
able to be open to receive, and
Yes.
to inwardly say yes, to say yes to the universe. Okay, so within that context, life itself uh, consents to download certain teachings and messages that are to be delivered and taught to people. And they usually come in at the perfect time and just the right teaching. So it's as if I allow myself to be open, to
Yes.
be as clear a vessel as I possibly can, and to use my own ability of articulation, and explanation, and and framing and contextualizing, and all of the teacher instructional skills to bring in this download, this download of information,
Hmm.
things that are, that come from a higher place, a higher octave, or a higher reality down into the world, into regular life. And so, in this sense, I do allow myself to be like this channel for the teaching. So, as I've done that, that's where a lot of the workshops come from. I
Yes.
get, direction and inspiration on the particular kinds of teachings
Hmm.
that I've done over the years. So this is kind of where it comes from. And of course, as life goes on, they become more and more um, involved
Yes.
and important as they come through. So I wanted to kind of like set that up as a
Okay.
context so that people can understand where it all comes from, how
Yes.
it all works, where it all comes from, and everything. And and it's good that we're talking because you as a shaman yourself, you understand this process. You know about it. And so I'm depending on you to be able to ask the right questions and everything to help people sort of understand what we're going to be presenting here. So in that vein, from that place, I've been so moved and inspired to receive a particular download for a teaching that I'm being kind of invited to bring through, and I want to kind of contextualize it a little bit. So what this teaching will be about is a comprehensive life upgrade. That is to bring an upgrade for people, okay? To present context, framework, teachings, initiation that is designed to help facilitate and initiate a major and significant recalibration for everyone who participates or partakes of this teaching, a major recalibration, a significant upgrade, and because of the timing and the stage we're at in the world now, faced with a myriad of crises and challenges, both certainly on the personal levels, but collectively, okay?
Even more
so there's a calling for humanity to truly step up the game. You see what I'm saying? To bring it all up to another octave. So the idea is that what has been shown to me, the way I interpret this is that it's like it's time for everyone to get serious.
Yes, very much so. Yes, I agree.
You see what I'm saying? To take their potential for their personal development very, very, very seriously and engage, activate the potential that is there.
If I could just interject something here.
Realizing that. Certainly.
Well, I mean, as you're well aware of, and as we've discussed before, I think people may not, some of us obviously are, but people may not be aware of just what it is taking us to survive, even operating at our lowest level at this very moment. That we're already going through pretty extreme personal changes, and not just in our lives, but also energetically and spiritually, just to keep up. And what that betrays is that we are living in a time when it is so much easier, if we allow ourselves to harness those energies for more substantial and deeper change we know that we need to make. And I see your work as helping that process along, as making us aware on an individual level and even on group levels of how swiftly we can move forward, simply because everything is kind of conspiring for us to survive and giving us that much juice right now to begin with.
Yes, exactly. Because the way in which we make that leap, which is what conditions are actually prompting us to do, to activate a core potential that has always been there.
Yes.
To make the significant leap upward. Now,
Yes.
as you know, there have always been these shamanic techniques and principles that have triggered that capacity in humans, especially at given times of challenge, given times in which the world is prompting that kind of activation. Um, you know, principles and processes of initiation.
Yes.
The initiatory process. Now, if we think of the word initiate, ignite, to energetically set a light, to activate, to initiate, to facilitate ignition.
Yes.
You see that we have this potential within us. A lot of people don't know that they have this capacity for initiation. Some people do have some awareness, but don't know how to engage or trigger or initiate. You see, this
Yes.
this activation. Facilitate this upgrade, this comprehensive life upgrade. It requires a very focused kind of teaching, the right kinds of conditions and such, and the engagement of other kinds of processes as well, energetic processes. And so in this particular offering of a workshop, I want to present it in a series of experiences, okay? It's the initial experience.
Yes.
Will be what will be the teachings on the Ganges. All right. This will be an experience of me teaching certain principles, answering questions, and also presenting, some ideas, visions, principles, and such. And I chose, and I've been kind of, and I spoke about it a little bit before, but I've been kind of inspired and kind of directed, if you will, to present this while, floating on the Ganges, the Ganga herself. So we're going to have a series of 3 classes, 3 workshops in which we will be floating and broadcasting live, teaching on Zoom, and while on a boat, so that we become inculcated and ported and enveloped in sort of the rhythms and the flow of the Holy River itself. It'll be an extraordinarily unique experience. We'll be able to interact, ask questions, watch, again, sort of watch the temples and the shrines and the holy people and all the activity along the Holy River happening while this teaching, this workshop is occurring. So there's going to be an extraordinary immersive quality to it. Yeah, it's going to be quite amazing, utterly unique. So a lot of information is going to come through, but it's going to be focused on preparing and teaching how to step into higher levels of communion, how to step into more profound communion so that it becomes sort of part of our nature. We learn how to do that. And so we'll do that for, I think, Sundays on the 2nd, 9th, and 16th of January. So it'll be 3 days of this very, very special experience. Now, on the other half of this teaching, this workshop, will be the initiations and attunements, the energetic initiations and attunement. Now, this is why I asked you, one of the reasons why I asked you to talk with me here about this, because what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be introducing within this workshop group long-distance energetic work on the Wednesdays. You see, a couple of days after the experience with the boat on the Ganges, on the Wednesdays, the 5th, the 12th, and the 19th of January. In between, we're going to be engaging in long distance energetic work, long distance attunement, long distance specialized initiations with the group. Now, you have experienced this energetic work that I've done, because I've been doing this kind of energetic work for years, for a number of years now, but yes, I've not made it public. I've not been for a individual who could, who were ready to experience it. So you have experienced this long distance energetic work many times now. So I wanted you to kind of like expound a little bit what that's like. And
well, so the energetic work, it's something that I have consistently noticed right away. And what I mean when I say that is, sometimes, I don't think I ever told you this stuff, but sometimes it may take me a moment to set everything up. And by the time I've set everything up, I'm very comfortable and I'm experiencing the work. But I would like to make it clear to everyone that frequently the work begins before I set up. In fact, sometimes the work begins in a way that is almost distracting or uncomfortable for me setting up. So I've been on both sides of healing work. Michael's healing work is particularly strong, and it will often involve memories, the reliving of memories. Some of these memories might be Well, you're in India. Some of these memories might be from past lives.
There you
Some of
go.
these memories, although they feel and have the texture and experience of memories, might be things that will be happening in the future. And those can be particularly jarring because it almost gives you a sense of deja vu when those experiences catch up with you in your real life. They are across the board, in my experience, very healing, very empowering, and very informative. Um, and I think it's good because we are talking about them within the context of healing to maybe focus
Yes.
a little bit on how informative they are. That
Mhm.
the information one gleans from them may not at that very moment be fully manifest, but it is the initiation of a process of healing.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
one of the, yeah,
Okay. Well, let me let me get into a little bit about how it's done, so that people can have some clarity about what it is that we're actually talking about. Okay. When I do long distance energetic work, where you don't have to be in the same room in the same place. You can be in another city. You can be on the other side of the world, because in this realm there's no time or space. So you can be anywhere in the world, and as long as we're coordinating the intent and the energetic work together, it's as if I'm right there, you know,
yes,
channeling and administering and focusing the energy. It is truly long distance work here. Now, way that it, the way that it's done is that the way that I do it is that we talk about what it is that we want to focus on. So in this case, we'll be doing initiations, energetic initiations, spiritual energetic upgrades, okay, and um, and spiritual attunements. So we'll be
hmm
attuning to certain vibration, attuning to certain dimensions where information is and such. So we're talking about comprehensive soul personal energetic tune-up at distance.
yes,
So what we do is we talk about what we want to focus on, and then what I do is that I ask you to relax. I either ask you to go lie down, or lie in a comfortable chair, or sit, or receptive and meditate
hmm
for 15. And then I go and channel the energy to you, sort of step away from the screen or the phone or whatever, and channel the energy to you. And then I come back after 15 minutes. I set the timer, come back in 15 minutes.
yes,
And then you come back, and then we talk about it. And then you share with me what energies you felt. What did you feel in the process? What visions or thoughts or came to you? What was the experience like? And then we kind of discuss it and and, and process it, and then I give my insight into what happened. Like, what did you experience? What happened for you? And then we can kind of gauge how effective it was and how to focus further. All right. And once we do that, and then we engage in another 15-minute session of me channeling the energy to you and you receiving. Okay. And then we take it all further. We intensify the energy. Then after 15 minutes, we come back and then begin to process it together again. We talk about it. We go over what the experience was and what occurred within you. What did you feel? What did you notice or not notice or whatever? And then we assess how effective it was and what we need to kind of direct our attention towards in terms of taking, perhaps if we choose to taking it further again. So they're like these 15-minute intervals of powerful, energetic experience that is channeled long distance. And so this is going to be a feature of this workshop in which we're going to be doing in between the teachings on the Ganges. So we're going to have a teaching on the Ganges on a Sunday, and then on that Wednesday do the energetic attunement work. The energetic recalibrating, infusing with energy long distance, discussing it and everything, making sure that everyone has a powerful energetic experience. And then the next Sunday, it's like we do it again. And then that Wednesday, we do the energetic attunement work. And then the next Sunday again. And then again that Wednesday. So there'll be like three classes and 3 major energetic lab sessions where we go in deep and do the energetic initiations. So what we're talking about, a major significant shamanic process.
I wonder if they're going to be ready for this.
I mean, appropriate for this time.
Mm-hmm. I've having experienced your healing work, 1 a month is a lot, and certainly doing 1 a week for 3 weeks running should be a very powerful experience. Again, I would just like to share one other thing that I've personally experienced with Dove's healing work, and that is frequently, I can't say exactly how often, there is a sensation of Dove and I and others journeying together. And frequently the healing work itself takes on the texture and the ambiance and the experiential potency of journeying together to important places, where again, there is sometimes the experience of teaching, sometimes the experience of direct healing, sometimes the experience of energetic shift, sometimes an experience of illumination. So I am most interested to see what we as a group will accomplish doing this on a weekly basis.
Yes. So we are talking about a major, again, comprehensive program of life upgrade. You see, I think it's by far that I've offered the public to date. You see, I've, as I said before, I've not introduced formally the long distance energetic work on a group level, on a public level, but it feels like it's time. As yes. I said, I got the inspiration, the download that says now it is important to make this offering. you see, and to um, present this level of shamanic work, of serious shamanic work, open to the public, to the public, because it's time, because it's necessary at this time.
I'd just like to interject one more thing, and that is, as a medicine person myself, having experienced doing similar work and having watched some I've been privileged to have some really remarkable people in my life. And of course, one of them is Michael Dove. But I've also had, I've worked with medicine people that have been bedrock for entire nations of people. I'm speaking in this particular regard, I'm speaking about Native American nations specifically. And I can tell you from personal experience, if you are a medicine person, you need to be worked on by other medicine people. It's sort of like every therapist needs a therapist. Everyone doing medicine work needs to be working with a good medicine person. Every shaman needs to be working with a good shaman. And it is so important, I think, in keeping oneself grounded. It doesn't matter how enlightened I think you become. Maybe it's some of the highest levels, when you're about to drift off into rainbow body, that might be a little bit different. But how many of us are really there just yet? We all have needs around healing, around energetic adjustment, to keep up with what's going on. I think as you and I have shared with each other, Dove, during these particular times, it's been prophesied for millennia that these were going to be rough times. People who have experience in medicine work have seen shifts that usually take epochs happen every few years. So even if you're the grounded medicine person right now, that doesn't mean you aren't going to need to keep up in order to remain that level of groundedness and power and efficacy next year or 2 years from now. These are extremely interesting times, and it's very useful for all of us to work together and to support each other, whatever our level of proficiency. And I guess just this one last thing, even the Tibetans, who are considered to be one of the most enlightened spiritual cultures on planet Earth, they say that we're moving out of an era of gurus and into a time of spiritual friends. And believe me, don't take that lightly. Basically what that means is that we're doing the deep work that gurus do with one another while we are engaging in spiritual exchange and spiritual friendship. And I think if Dove embodies anything to me, and has over the years, because Dove and I have known each other for over 30 years, he has been an impeccable spiritual friend.
Well, thank you. Yes. Well, I would say that, yes, it's important now. It's important now. This is all being timed for the beginning of this coming year. I'm going to be talking about the significance of the year on the solstice, or if you're watching this afterward, and I would have spoken about the significance of the year 2022. We're going to need to level up. And then we're going to need to understand consciously the technology, the inner technology, the future technology, but also the ancient technologies as well, of how humans level up and meet the challenge of the now, the instant of what's occurring, what is unfolding now. And so it is my offering my humble wish that this be a key avenue, portal, way, tool, a soul level tool for that leveling up that allows us to meet like the very, very serious challenges that humanity is being presented now. And
yes, very much so.
Yeah, yes. So I want to say thank you, James, for helping me sort of present this. And I will be presenting more information. So if something is not clear or something doesn't quite make sense, I'll be presenting more information, more videos, more talk, and making myself available for further explanation if anyone needs more clarity about what we're talking about. So, I say thank you again.
Thank you.
Yes, and that, and I would ask everyone to once again stay tuned. And I wish you well, and I look forward to working with you all. So, namaste.
Namaste.